Listen up. If you are in your teens or 20s, this video is going to change the way you look at everything. I never realized how important your decisions at that point in time in your life will impact your future. You feel me? And what I'm going to do in this video today is share a bunch of lessons that I done learned to be able to make sure once y'all hit 30 plus, you ahead of the 8 ball. Now let's get right into it. Number one, and I honestly feel like this is the biggest detriment to mental health once you hit 30 plus, and that is making friends, okay? Now, this is so important because when you're in your teens or 20s, it's much easier to make friends. And I know a lot of people could be like, oh, that's because of school, or that's just because of natural neighborhoods. No, listen, it's just because of the amount of responsibility that you have. Like, more than likely right now, you have much more freedom than what's gonna happen as you hit your 30 plus. You know, you get more experimentation. Now you're allowed to experiment throughout your entire life and keep shifting and keep changing things, but it gets a little bit more strenuous as you get older because you start to see your finite version versus when you like in your teens. And I know it's so funny because even some of y'all watching this video, we probably only a couple years apart, but once you hit 30 plus, you start recognizing like, all right, hold up. Am I actually set up for a good financial future? So now your responsibilities have increased, your priorities have shifted from everything just being an endorphin boost, that making friends becomes goddamn difficult as hell. And a lot of times it's not you, right? Because you could be a good energy. You could be a supportive person. You could be someone that cares about people winning. I mean, that's who I am. I'm literally describing myself to y'all. But your lifestyle and someone else's lifestyle, just from a responsibility aspect, will be so separated that even when y'all link up or meet, there's some cohesion there, but it's not enough to actually sustain it over the longevity because you didn't have that time to actually put in to build a solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? And that, I honestly gotta say, is one of the most difficult things, because if you have no circle around you or no support system or anything, and you're just like winging it nomad style through life, at some point, just your human nature to have emotional connection is gonna take a detrimental hit. And if a lot of y'all was to just pull your friends or your parents or something aside and be like, hey, how did you feel that it was making friends after 30 plus? Like, a lot of them, to tell you the truth, it was super difficult. A lot of them, when y'all be noticing like parents be just so invested in their kids' lives and they don't do anything else, it's because honestly, that's what happened. They ended up not having any more friends once they cross a certain point, or they're, you know, and they're struggling to make them. And so one thing I would definitely tell y'all from the beginning is, if you're in your teens or 20s right now and you got a solid group of people, I would honestly make sure that you invest in that group, but also you watch where is your trajectory going versus everybody else. So like with my friend group, I think one of the things that happened is we all just had our own aspirations. Like, one person wanted to be a firefighter, another person wanted to be a personal trainer, another person wanted to get into real estate. I got into acting and content creation. So that's just natural for us to go our different ways. Again, we all still close when we catch up. Well, I see them like once a year, once every year and a half. But with my current lifestyle, I had to try to build an entirely new circle. And have I met some super dope people? Yes. But there is just a component of, I have not known you long enough, or I haven't been able to invest enough time in you to where I'm really not that comfortable with you. And that's something that's hard to explain, but when you're going through it, you understand. And so yeah, y'all, man, invest in your circles because it's important. Number two, this actually flows really well, so we was just talking about friends, but it is getting into a relationship. Man, let me tell y'all, when you hit 30 plus, yo, it is much more difficult to find the one. And this is not even from just an attractive standpoint, right? Like, I don't struggle with women. I'm in really good shape. You know, I got good height. I got a good paying job, all those things, right? So when it comes to just, oh, are you a solid human being that can find a person? Yes, that's easy. The problem is, as people get older, the first thing they start feeling like, oh my God, my time is limited, so I need to hurry up and rush. I need to hurry up and do this. And so you get those people who like already have plans for their life, and they meet you and they're instantly like, okay, do you want to have a baby? Okay, was you thinking about marriage in next year? And you're just like, oh my God, I just met you. Like, why are your expectations so high? And it is because they feel like time is running out, which then of course you end up stepping back. You're like, hey, I'm not about to just rush into something because I'm getting older, but then they're like, well, the next person needs to be my person, and it just starts becoming awkward. You know what I mean? Then you got like the baggage that happens over time because naturally you're getting older, so you've probably made more decisions. And so now if I meet a person, I have no kids, no pets, and I'm on my ish, right? But then I meet a person who done got 5 cats, 3 dogs, you know, and they're single. But if I talk to them, I got to take all that on. It's a lot, right? Because now I'm like, dang, yo, what if I love pets? I'm actually planning on getting a Presa Canario in the future, but just not right now. And so, and I'm planning on having kids in the future too, but like, just not right now. And so the less that you have on your plate, the more and more difficult it gets to be able to date someone in that range. And so, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, if you can meet the one earlier on and figure out what you like, what you dislike, so do as much experimenting as you can within your teens and early 20s to just figure out what you're compatible with. And then, yo, if you really do find that person that you like, man, I could build with, do it. You always, especially, I think a man or a woman, you're gonna have the wandering eye. There's always gonna be other people attractive to you. But what's important is, do you have a partner that's supporting you, that cares about you, that wants to uplift you, and is there while you in the mud about to grind that up to whatever you're gonna be? Because also, the more successful you become, the more difficult it is to find a partner that actually cares about you versus what you can do for them. And I know a lot of men, especially in general, always like, well, we're always the person who, you know, we just provide and we're never loved. That's not true. I'm telling y'all from past relationships, like, women will love you if they care about you and they'll do things for you that you're in shock about, you know. But to get that, you need time. And you need a person that's also hasn't been through way too much to where their patience is run thin. And so it's just listen, if you got a good relationship, foster it. Now the third thing is going to be support, and I'm gonna make this a quick one, but it's like really important to understand. When you are in your teens or when you're in college, those early 20s, right? People look at you like, oh, little baby, right? I want to help you grow and to be whatever you want to be. And I know if you're 19, 20, you like, I ain't no baby, what you talking about, bro? It's not like that. Just hear me out. And a lot of people are willing to mentor you to be able to say, whatever you become, I played a part in that. You gotta remember, successful people have egos. Don't ever be fooled to think they don't. But once you, a lot of times this happens after you graduate college, but especially once you hit like 30 plus, now a lot of people look at you as competition. You are no longer that, let me mold this person and watch them to become great. Yes, there are people out there that will, but in most cases, they won't. And I know a lot of people 30 plus experience in this where they're even coming like, yo, I'm at your mercy, like teach me what you know and all these other things. And other people are like, hell no, I see your skill set. I see the way you talk. I see how much of a motivator you are. You think if I pull you in the same room with me and now people get to watch both of us, they're gonna start going to you, then I'm gonna lose my business. And that is just a real thought. And so what I would tell a lot of y'all, especially in your teens and 20s, listen, get yourself a mentor that can help you out to be able to excel you to that next level. They are more likely to help you right now because they're gonna look at you as someone who they can mold and shape to become great. You know what I mean? Because once you reach a certain point, you no longer you competition, and it ain't gonna be easy once you get there. Or, oh my gosh, and I really don't want anybody to fall victim to this, but it is screwing up your finances, okay? When y'all see a lot of people becoming debt-free at 40, late 30s and all those other things, what do y'all think that came from, those debts? It came from the teens and the 20s, and the person, again, you can recover. So that's not what I'm saying, but like, you will never reach financial freedom if you just have all these debts hanging over your head that you need to pay off. If all of your income you start making is literally just going out and you're not able to invest anything or you're not able to save anything, you just find yourself barely getting by month after month after month, and that will weigh on your mental health, okay? And so one of the things I would tell you all is this. I'm not saying that you can't go buy yourself one designer bag. I'm not saying you can't buy yourself one pair of designer shoes, all right? But what I am saying is watch your decision making and how it sets you back, right? Your dream whip, if you really have the money, okay, cool, go ahead and buy it. But like, if they're like, if you make $2,500 a month and your dream car is $1,000 a month, don't do it. Because that's $1,000 a month that you're gonna be paying over like 5-6 years. And You don't even got to just listen to me. Go watch some of them YouTube videos on people trying to get cars, and they're much even older, telling us some, yeah, I got, you know, backwards equity on this car and I owe 30,000, but I want this new BMW that costs 40,000. So we're gonna put those together and now I'm paying 1,000. The guy's like, wait, you wanna do what? You're not in a financial situation. No, I got it. It's way too many times when you're in your teens or 20s where you're gonna be thinking, I got it, because you're a lack of responsibility. But listen to me, do not make financial decisions that put you into a bind, okay? Like, make sure you're making decisions. If you need a quick fix, do it. But not to where you are putting yourself in financial ruin for like a year to come. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially with them damn credit cards. Do not be spending money you don't have, feeling like, oh, what a minimum payment, only $15. That interest will kick your ass. I'm telling y'all, I had a $7,000 credit card. Swiped that whole joint. I definitely didn't have $7,000 in my account at about 24. Interest every single month was like 24%. And I was paying like $170, $180 a month in just interest outside of the payment. By the time I finally paid the card off, it took me like a year and a half. Yo, I had paid in total like $14,000. So for that measly $7,000 I spent like another $5,000 to have it because of the interest. Yo, it ain't worth it. Imagine that $5,000 could have been in an investment account and could have made me another $10,000. You see my point? And so just really watch how y'all spending y'all money, man. Cause like I promise you, just give things time. You will be okay. You don't gotta rush those quick dopamine hits to feel like you're more successful than what you are. You will get to the success you want for yourself over time as you build that character up through your actions, you know? The fifth and last thing is gonna be experiment and find your path. That's something I feel like I was always really good with, but right now you might have an idea of what you wanna be and what you wanna do. And if you truly sold on that and it brings you passion and you go after it right now, you are part of the 1%. But for a lot of us, based on your background, based on your upbringing, you still trying to just figure things out at that point. Like, yeah, there's so many, imagine how many people that went to school, how many people y'all see talk about going to school, getting their degree, and they don't use the degree, right? It's just because a lot of times you don't know what you want to do and be, and then you figure out as you go, like, all right, actually, I wouldn't be happy there. And so I would just tell y'all, experiment. And this comes to every aspect of your life, even like with the relationship thing. Like, I know when you meet a person, they feel like they should be the one. That's not true. You need to get to know that person. You need to make sure that's actually what you want to be with. And you decide that's not the direction you want to go, then you drop it and you go meet somebody else. Like, you have to experiment with every little aspect of what you do. Like, experiment with activities, right? Go try to dance. Maybe you don't like it, and then get into bowling. You don't like that. Get into basketball, get into football. You get my point. It's just like, don't feel like just because you started something that you have to finish that. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Listen, I had to make this one because of the point that a lot of things I know now, I had to teach myself. So no one was there to like support me or help me in a way to grow into the person I am. I don't mean taking care of me. Clearly my mom and them did that like when I was a baby to get like to be grown. But I mean, as a man, to grow into what I am today, to learn everything I've learned all this from other people, and then I had to learn with my own experiences through life. And so giving other people the opportunity to hear from someone that does have a lot of experience in life to the point where I'm at right now, I want to always be able to drop these gems your way. You feel me? So man, make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Comment your thoughts as well below. Is there something, you know, that I talked about today that stood out for you, that you know, definitely want to start working on or making sure you're paying attention to? You already know I love to hear it. I comment back to everybody, man, because I'm just appreciative for anybody that even decides to watch these videos. And again, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this. I'm always going to be dropping great self-awareness content for y'all, and I will see everybody at the top.